What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another week of Sports Talk with Broads, where we will be dissecting more Eagles football. But we have a lot more on the table today because we had the Flyers finally kick off. We have the Sixers preseason, which is very entertaining so far, although I know it's just preseason. But we have to start off with the Birds because it's Vikings week. We know what happened. We know what we did last year in the NFC Championship game. We embarrassed them. We absolutely embarrassed them. But this year is different. I mean, we're off to a 2-2 start. We will get to the Titans game. It's just a different feel this year, and I'm nervous. There's no doubt about it. I can't sit here and lie to everyone. I'm scared. We don't look good. Our offensive line looks terrible. Our defensive line looks horrible. Jim Schwartz, I don't know what's going on. Our cornerback play is atrocious. I'm scared. Let's take a look at how this Tennessee Titans game played out last week. The fact that we had such a big lead. I mean, we were up. We'll get there. So in the first quarter, the first drive for the Titans, Jalen Mills gets beat right off the jump. And he's been getting criticized for a long time here because of how he carries himself on the field. It hasn't been great, let's say. Corey Davis drops a huge pass. And then they had a wide receiver on the left sideline to drop a pass, and we sneak away with just allowing 3 points when we played poorly enough to probably allow a touchdown. Aguilar misses 2 passes in the first quarter. One was on a 3rd and 21 cutting across the middle where Carson drove it right to his hands. It was perfectly placed right into Nelson Aguilar's hands, and he misses it. On top of that, the first shot of the game, he's going deep, and he misses it. I mean, this looks like the Nelson Aguilar that we had when Chip Kelly was here. That can't happen. Heading into the game, we thought the Titans were going to run the ball heavy because that's been their motto. And we knew that we could stop the run. Our run defense is unbelievable. But they just kept taking shots, kept doing play action, kept taking shots. They knew our weakness. Our weakness is our cornerback play and our pass defense right now. And it was effective. Jalen Mills gets stiff-armed. Chris Long misses a tackle, keeps their drive alive. They are just taking shots. Ronald Darby gets torched. Pass interference should have been called. He gets lucky. Corey Davis gets right by him. Titans held the ball for the majority of the time. 10 minutes and 23 seconds to 4 minutes and 37 seconds in the first half. I mean, it was just them dominating, them controlling the ball. It looked like what we did against the Colts early on, where we were just keeping the ball the entire time. Second quarter comes around, I'm thinking to myself, we barely run the football. Alshon Jeffrey comes back for this game, and he has a huge 31-yard gain on the left side of the football field on a 3rd and 4. But Carson gets hit again in this drive, and he's been getting hit, and our offensive line isn't holding it. I don't get it. What happened to Lane Johnson? I understand Jason Peters is getting old, but what happened to Lane Johnson? We get pinned inside the 5. And at this point in the game in the second quarter, we haven't had good field position yet. Tennessee just kept pinning us and giving us a hard field to work with. But we had more time in this drive. Carson had more time in the pocket. He's hitting Ertz wide open. Jordan Matthews gets a touchdown, a 50-yard plus touchdown because of a bad coverage on the Titans' part. And we take the lead 7-3, which created a little bit of a spark. We then 3 and out. In the first half, Carson was hit 7 times and had 2 sacks. At the end of the first half, Avonte Maddox gets an interception. It was just a really bad throw, honestly, on Marcus Mariota's part with 26 seconds left. But we couldn't get a touchdown. And that brings me to my next point is I don't understand why we're taking the foot off the gas pedal. We're known to be going for it. We know we're aggressive. And Frank Reich was here as an aggressive offensive coordinator. Now we have Groh in there. And it just seems like, I don't know. He's not as aggressive. He's not fitting the motto. Because there, we got to be aggressive and get a touchdown. We settle for 3. Moving on to the second half. Aguilar, like I said, he had a horrible game. Absolutely horrible. He fumbled the ball in the red zone. We got lucky because one of their players were out of bounds when they touched it. Then we have 2 holdings in a row. It's 2nd and goal from the 21. Carson slides. After making a great play, a great escape, he slides. And as he's sliding and he gives himself up, keep in mind the new rules, they have a defender go right down and try and hit him in the shoulder head area. And they pick up the flag. I couldn't believe it. They picked up the flag. I've never seen that happen. Never. I don't understand. If that was Tom Brady, if that was Aaron Rodgers, there's no way that flag would have been picked up. But Alshon Jeffrey comes up clutch. On the same drive, we get a touchdown. He displays his hands tremendously, and the addition of him was beautiful. So right after we score on a 3rd and goal from the 15, we're up 17-3. We are up 2 touchdowns against the Tennessee Titans. The next drive, our defense was brutal. Brandon Graham misses a fumble that was right into his face. It can't happen. Corey Graham misses a tackle for a huge gain. Allows a 1st down on a 3rd and 5. Jalen Mills, pass interference. Although it was a little bit touchy of a call, Jalen Mills gets a pass interference. They score a touchdown on that. 17-10. If we picked up that fumble, it could have changed the whole entire game. 4th quarter comes around. Wentz gets hit again. Lane Johnson gets torched off the right side, and it's a fumble. Now, we hold him to a 4th and 1, and we hold him to a field goal, which is great by our defense. But, they take a lead with 5 minutes left in the 4th quarter, 20-17. How do we let that lead go against this type of squad? We get a huge defensive stop. Doug Peterson uses the timeout tremendously. With 2 timeouts left, 1:41 on the clock, DeAndre Carter runs back to the 40 on a punt return. Gives us great position to go down and win this game. Keep in mind, we're only down 3 points. Excellent drive. Run the ball. Guess what? We only get a field goal. We don't take shots. We use the clock management wrong. I don't know if this is offensive coordinator Mike Rowe, if this is Doug Peterson, but it was an ugly performance. We only get 3 and we head into overtime. 20-20. And our first possession was great. We were moving downfield. And what happens? We stalled. I think on 3rd down, we had an opportunity to be able to score a touchdown. And I think Carson Wentz was informed, just throw it away. Just throw it away. Let's get the points. Mike Rowe gets interviewed after the game. Not after the game, a couple days after, and claims, we did what we needed to do. We got points. Pretty much throwing the defense under the bus. Saying our offense got the points. We took the lead. What else do you want from us? We want you to be more aggressive because that's what we're known to do. Why do you think we beat the Patriots last year? Because we were aggressive. So, it's time for our defense in overtime. And this is where it was the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my lifetime. First off, Jennings gets wide open behind our corners. Wide open. And he drops it. We got so lucky. Malcolm Jenkins in overtime was all over the place, making tackles left and right. They had so many 4th down opportunities and converted on every single one of them. 4th and 15, and Corey Graham falls asleep and allows the sideline to be wide open. That is a play that can cost you your job. That was a play that lost the game. I don't care how ugly everything is. I don't care how bad our offensive line was. I don't care how bad our defense was. You have the play of the game, 4th and 15, and all you have to do is stop them to win. If we stopped them there to win, we wouldn't be even talking about this. We'd be 3-1 heading into Vikings week. One play. It came down to one play. As bad as everything was, 4th and 15 in overtime, and you let them convert, you deserve to lose. Corey Graham, that's a fireable offense. It was horrible. Horrible. But then we hold him to a 4-2. But what gets me mad about that is that it was 3rd and 19, and we allow them to make it 4-2 on that because of missed tackles. So they're out there, field goal units out there to tie the game up. But then they be aggressive. They're aggressive, and they say, no, we're going for it. They convert. And I love the play call by them on that. And the rest is history. They get a touchdown. Okay, we lose. We're 2-2. It was the worst game I've seen as a team. Offensive line was atrocious. Our defensive line is not getting any pressure, which is exposing our cornerbacks. We knew Jalen Mills wasn't this lockdown corner, but he needs help. He needs some sort of help. When the quarterback has that much time, it's going to expose players like Jalen Mills. Jalen Mills is a good tackler. He can be really effective in the red zone. But when it comes to time and having to keep up with receivers, it doesn't work. So it's just a really disappointing loss. And it's a whole team effort, like I said. It's Doug Peterson. It's Jim Schwartz. It's Mike Groh. It's all of them. It's all of them. Apparently last night, there was a huge defensive meeting. Like a big-time meeting. Which is good to hear because they're addressing the problem. It needs to happen. So now we head into this Vikings game. And I've stated from the beginning, I'm scared. I'm nervous. We're 2-2. There are fans out there screaming, we're going to win. We're going to destroy them. What are you basing this off of? What you've seen in the first couple weeks? The positives? Carson Wentz. The positives? Zach Ertz. Alshon Jeffrey. That's it. That's it. I agree that our offense has looked a little bit smoother and the addition of Alshon was tremendous. But as a whole, I don't know what you see that tells you we are going to be a better team this week. The one thing I am really focusing on is our home field advantage because of what happened last year, because of the fight between Minnesota and Philadelphia, and they think we're this crazy town and we treated them wrong and we were disrespectful and we're just going to be loud and crazy and energy is going to be flying around the link. And we are a better team defensively at home, which is crazy, but it's a huge difference. That's the one thing I'm holding on to, the fan base. But when you look at the Vikings, they're struggling. This is a must-win game for them. Must win. This could put away their season almost. Kirk Cousins is known to be a Philadelphia Eagles killer when he was with the Redskins. But here's the issue with the Vikings. They have a terrible pass defense, just like we do, and they can stop the run. And last week, we didn't run the football enough, and we had Carson drop back 50-plus times. So here's my concern. We're going to try and run. It's not going to work, and then we're going to have to throw the football because they have a terrible pass defense, just like us, and we're going to have Carson drop back 60 times, and we're going to need the offensive line to step up. One reason why I heard the offensive line was struggling so much is because with Nick Foles, we were doing RPOs, run-pass options. So the ball was coming out quick. With Carson, he's surveying the field a little bit longer. Offensive line needs to hold the block a little bit longer. But that's my concern when it comes to how we spread out this run and pass play calling. So when you look at their offense, Thielen, Diggs, come on now. If we got torched by the Tennessee Titans and Corey Davis, that concerns me. They have threats. They have legit weapons. And how are we going to stop them? Jim Schwartz already talked about, we're not changing the scheme. We're not changing anything. Jalen Mills will be playing the same side. Rasul Douglas will not be stepping in there. I don't know. It's crazy. When you look at our injury report, no Derek Barnett. And he's been someone who's actually been very solid for us on that defensive line. Someone who actually caught my eye. You don't see many of them. You don't see many of our defensive line being successful right now. No one's getting home. Derek Barnett created a little bit of spark. And he's out. And we're going to need more pass rush. And Michael Bennett has talked about it. He thinks he deserves more playing time. Now, he respects the team and says he's here for the team. He's going to do everything he possibly can to be a great teammate. But here's a chance for him. Here's a chance to get more time and to prove Doug Peterson and Jim Schwartz wrong when it comes to how much time he's actually gotten. So there's no doubt about it, I'm scared. I don't know if I'm changing my outlook on the season. It comes down to this game. See, at first I was thinking, this is a Super Bowl season. No doubt, Super Bowl season. I've already changed at 2-2. Now it's let's just make the playoffs. And there has been statistics to say that 49.2% chance the Eagles make the playoffs. That is less than 50% chance the reigning Super Bowl champions don't make the playoffs. But this is where it's iffy. We have the highest percentage of the division. So what does that mean? Someone's got to win. Someone's got to win that division. So if I'm holding on to anything here, and I'm not trying to say it's all over, I'm just basing it out of 4 games, we look bad. And there's just no doubt about it. We look bad. There's all these reports. Le'Veon Bell, is that gonna happen? The asking price isn't high. I would not mind doing it. I just don't know how serious it is. To add him at the running back position where Jay Ajayi's banged up with the fractured back, Darren Sproles isn't playing once again. Corey Clement is also banged up. Wendell Smallwood, he is what he is, although he's definitely caught a lot of people's attention. Of course I would love it. On top of that, he can catch the football. We can use him as a wide receiver, and he can pick up blocks, which is huge because with our offensive line and the way they're playing right now, we need that. I'm praying for a win. It's going to be hard to watch this one. It's a 425 game. You got the top dogs on the call. America's game of the week. We're in the link. It's going to be electric. That's what I'm holding on to. That's what I'm grasping onto. Carson had a couple weeks now. He's looking better each week, of course, and the addition of Alshon, yes, I think our offense can get a little bit smoother. Nelson Aguilar has to catch the football. That's a no-brainer. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know how he lost the mojo, but he did, and I hope it's not a snowball effect. I'm thinking maybe because he keeps moving from inside to outside when we didn't have Alshon, it's messing with his brain. When he was on the outside with Chip Kelly, it didn't work. Last season, he was in the inside all the time. Effective. I love this team to death. I think we have the talent, and that's why I'm confused on why this is happening. Some things are mental errors, Corey Graham. But the skill level isn't the issue, and that's why this bothers me. We have skill. We're a good team. Is it because other teams are coming after us and giving 180% knowing we're the Super Bowl champions and we can't handle it? I don't think so. Because we could be 3-1, honestly. And if we're 3-1 and not 2-2, our outlook is completely different, but we're playing the same way. Just like I said before, regardless of everything that happened that was so bad last week, and there was a lot, we were one play away, and that play was a 4th and 15. So I guess you can look at that as a positive. It was a 4th and 15. But it was bad all around. Ronald Darby, he's supposed to be our number 1 back, cornerback. And my man doesn't want to tackle. So moral of the story is, I am nervous heading into the Vikings game. I don't know if I should be. I feel like it's reasonable. I'm just keeping it real. For the fans that are saying we're going to destroy them, we're going to beat them, you're just basing that off of your love for the team. There's no stats to prove that. There's no positives that you see that proves it. You're just pumped and you want to beat the Vikings, and I respect it. I just don't have that feel. Something needs to change. I don't know what the problem is because the talent is not the issue. It's not talent. And that kills me inside. So let's take a look at some other storylines before we head to the break for tomorrow's games. The Falcons go to the Steelers. Both teams have great personnel, but are they having the greatest seasons? The Steelers are kind of falling apart. They're talking about a head coaching change, Antonio Brown and Big Ben. They compared their relationship to Wi-Fi. Sometimes it connects and sometimes it doesn't. That should be a little concerning. The Jags are at the Chiefs, which is a fantastic game. Speaking about Patrick Mahomes, are you kidding me? This kid is electric. Last weekend, he's getting chased by Von Miller on the run, and he has the audacity to switch hands from his throwing hand to his left hand and toss it for a gain while getting chased to the sideline by Von Miller, the best in the game. It was unbelievable. The kid is special. And he is lighting the NFL up on fire. The Giants go to the Panthers. Packers at Lions. The Dolphins at the Bengals. I bet you that's a really good game. The Dolphins were 3-0 before losing to the Patriots, and we'll get to the Patriots. The Bengals find ways to win. I mean, you have Andy Dalton out there. And I'm not really a big Andy Dalton fan, but guess what? They're winning games, and they got an explosive offense, and they got great receivers. They won on great fashion at the end of the buzzer last weekend. So that's going to be an entertaining game. I want to see how the Dolphins bounce back. Are they a legit team? Are they? And then the Ravens at the Browns. And the Ravens are coming off a big win against the Steelers in Pittsburgh. They seem to show us a little bit. They have great receivers as well. John Brown being really, really effective with his speed. And let me get to the Patriots real quick because now they're starting to mojo. They're starting to flow a little bit. And Tom Brady throws for his 500th career pass. And I might be the only Eagles fan to do this, but I love dominance in sports. LeBron, Serena. I'm all about dominance. Crosby. Tom Brady's dominant. It's hard to be elite and get to the NFL. Try being the elite of the NFL. And I get it. He wins and it gets people mad. And they're jealous. Of course I'm jealous. I want that. But this dude is unreal. It's just that simple. Everyone's criticizing the Patriots after their start. Is this the season where they're going to fall? Do you guys realize this happens every year? Every season, it's the same thing. When are you going to stop doing it? So they win again. They destroy the Colts on Thursday Night Football, and they start to get mojo going, and Josh Gordon's back. Edelman's back. Gronk is out there. He's getting weapons. He's sitting in the pocket, it seems, for 45 minutes, redirecting his receivers, putting Josh Gordon to the right side of the end zone, from the left side of the field, drops it between two defenders, which honestly the Colts D was just horrible on that play. But regardless, Tom Brady is so special, and he hits 500 career touchdown passes, and you got to respect it. You have to respect it. I don't care if you hate him. I get it. He's annoying because he wins, and the Patriots are annoying to watch. I'm with you. But guess what? This guy is on another level. Tom Brady is just on another level. And I can't sit here and hate it because it's absolutely outstanding. So with that being said, we're going to take our first break. When we come back, we're going to take a look at some high school football scores, and then we will get into some Sixers, some Flyers, and some other news around the sports world. So I will be back after these messages. What's going on, fellas? We're on commercial break here. I mean, Muscala's been pretty solid, man. I mean, I'm not going to say anything about... I don't know yet. I'm just saying, he looks pretty decent for his role.
See your diamond, love your diamond. At Banderos, you can view diamonds from the largest selection of loose certified diamonds in the area. Our certified diamond professionals bring you over 200 years of knowledge and experience that can help you match your perfect diamond with your perfect mountain. At Banderos, you can buy with confidence from true professionals. Bandero Diamonds and Fine Jewelry,
Inspira Health Network innovative? The latest in surgical robotics. What makes it inspiring? A nationally acclaimed breast center specializing in reconstructive surgery. What makes it influential, insightful, ingenious? Over 15 awards this year, recognizing Inspira's top doctors and nurses, state-of-the-art facilities, and excellence in everything from orthopedics to cancer care. It's all here in one network, and Inspira Health Network is in it for you. Visit InspiraHealthNetwork.org to learn more.
SNJ Today's Adoptable Pet of the Week is Ron Weasley. Ron Weasley is a 2-month-old orange and white domestic short-haired kitten looking for the perfect muggle to make some magic with. If you're looking for a friendly feline, this little guy is the one. Learn how you can give Ron Weasley a home by finding SNJ Today on Pinterest or by contacting the Animal Welfare Association at awanj.org. Ron Weasley is this week's adoptable pet for SNJ Today.
I'm in almost every school bus and class. I go to school with your children. We say the Pledge of Allegiance together. You see me around the neighborhood and you tell me that I'm
All right, last commercial here.
Well, I'm one out of every 5 children in America, and I'm struggling with hunger. This problem is closer than you think. My teacher tells me we can grow up to be whatever we want. I want to grow up to be someone who doesn't go to their house. There's enough food in this country to feed everybody. Please visit feedingamerica.org today and find your local food bank for ways to help. Every dollar you donate helps provide 8 meals for kids like me, quietly struggling with hunger. Together, we are Feeding America, brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
What is going on, everyone? We are back from break. We already discussed on the first segment the Eagles. We dissected everything from the Titans loss to the Vikings preview. And now we're going to go into a little bit of some local sports before we head into the Flyers and the Sixers. So, for some high school football action last night, you have Millville, who started 0-3. They're now 3-3 after beating Timber Creek. So, a 3-game winning streak. Quarterback Eddie Jamison, 336 yards and 5 touchdowns, which is a school record, in the 42-20 win. Wide receiver Kyle Yancey, 3 touchdowns. One was a 90-yard kick return to open the second half. And with Bridgeton and Atlantic City up next in the future, a good chance for Millville to kind of get on a roll, considering those two teams combined are 1-10. But you can't overlook your opponent. You don't want to overlook them. But it's a good opportunity for this Millville team to kind of get on a roll. 3 straight and to beat Timber Creek to that extent is nice. Holy Spirit beats Washington Township 40-13. Ryan Yost ties Cape Atlantic League single passing touchdown record with 5. Brown had 2 touchdowns, a 16-yarder and a 25-yarder. And Laura had a pick 6 as well, which was for 45 yards. So Holy Spirit getting a big-time win over Washington Township on a score of 40-13. St. Augustine, ranked number 8, wins 28-0. And now that is 3 in a row as well. Running back Hill, freshman, unreal talent. 26 carries, 174 yards. Him and Allen, the quarterback, together is a threat that could almost be unstoppable. He threw 8 for 10, 143 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Their defense, St. Augustine's defense, only allowed 32 yards on 22 rushes and 115 yards total for the quarterback. So outstanding performance from the offense, from the defense, and they're scary. And this was against a great opponent. So they're ranked number 8. Let's see where they go from here. But just absolutely awesome to see St. Augustine get on a roll. Although I'm a Gloucester Catholic alum, it hurts me to say that. But they're playing good football right now. They're playing great football. So we Haddonfield. Haddonfield, this is it. This is the story of the week. They're ranked number 15. They hold off Deptford 27-21. But last week they beat St. Joe's Hamilton 22-15 to stay undefeated. That was the battle. That was the battle of the week. Quarterback Jay Foley led a touchdown drive with less than a minute left right before half for a 14-0 lead. That was a slant to John Maines. Second half kickoff, Foley does it again for a 21-0 lead. But West Effort pushed back. They didn't stop. Late interception puts them in territory. But on a 4th and 3, you have Haddonfield come up clutch and get a big-time stop to stay undefeated. And this team is special. That St. Joe's Hamilton win was impressive, and now they're continuing to roll. So here's Mainland, and they win 3-0 over Oakcrest. This game was interesting to me when I saw the stat line and looked at the score. 3-0? I mean, what a football game. Do you praise both defenses? Were both offenses struggling? How was it? I just wish I saw the flow of that game. Because a 3-0 football game, that's hard to do. That's hard to do. The kicker gets the job done. I mean, I wish I saw how the game played out. 3 and outs over and over again, where teams moving downfield but missing field goal. I mean, 3-0 when you see that score. I'm just curious to see what the fans got out of that. How did the game play out? I just thought that was funny to see a score to that extent. Buna beats Gloucester City at home 50-0. So that's a big time win. Lower Cape May beats Pittman 26-0. First quarter, Lower Cape May took a 13-0 lead after a passing touchdown and a missed extra point. When you see the missed extra point, you think to yourself, this can come back and haunt you. This can come back and literally be the reason why you lose. But not this time. Pittman had turnover on downs in the second quarter. Lower Cape May takes a 19-0 lead, and the rest is history at that point. So big time win for that team. They shut out Pittman, and they move on to the next week. But there's later games good today. That was the Friday portion. You have St. Joe's Hamilton in action, looking to bounce back against Vineland. Williamstown hosts Cherokee. Glassboro goes to Salem. Cherry Hill East versus Cumberland. There's some good matchups on the day today. And let's tie in some local football college-wise with Rowan. And they're on a 2-game losing skid after they lost at home 39-6 last week. And, you know, I didn't expect that. I thought Rowan had some good mojo going into that, even though they lost to a number 6 Frostburg State team. But that's not a good loss at home. Let's be real. But it's not over. They're now 3-2. They have a game away today at the College of New Jersey at 6 o'clock. So they're looking to bounce back. They obviously have a great team. I'm looking forward to them trying to get a W on the road after a disappointing loss, 2 straight losses, and now a 3-2 record after a 3-game win streak. For some college football, big-time market games, Texas goes to Oklahoma. What a matchup. Big 12. Kyler Murray. Now, he had a situation last week where he was late. He was late to a team meeting. He had to sit, and I hate that because he didn't sit. He missed one drive. He didn't start, was what the coach said. He has to miss the start. Well, you put him in at the next drive. Is that really teaching him anything? Granted, they smoked Baylor, I believe it was, so it didn't really matter. But I just don't think that's really teaching anything. He missed a meeting. You're not going to start him, but you're going to play him the next drive. What does that do? But that's a big-time matchup. Texas obviously being an organization, a school that should be able to be elite. And now they're ranked 19th in the country. They're starting to get some big-time wins. Alabama goes to Arkansas. Alabama's just too good. I don't see them losing a football game. Clemson. Here's the issue with Clemson after last week. They were in a tight matchup against Syracuse all night long. You have their quarterback, Kelly Bryant, saying he wants to transfer after he lost the starting job to the freshman Trevor Lawrence, who was supposed to be a legitimate stud. He gets concussed. He tries to gain some yards. He gets concussed, Trevor Lawrence does. Now they're on their third quarterback, Bryce, and they climb back into this game and find a way to win against Syracuse, and they were down, and this was at home. You have Clemson storming the field after a win against Syracuse. I mean, I thought they were going to pull it off. I really did, for the Orange, as in Syracuse. I thought they were going to pull it off. You're on your third quarterback. You think there's no way, but they grind it out. But here's the issue. Now what happens? Dabo Swinney gets interviewed and said, we would gladly have Kelly Bryant back. I mean, redshirting is not an easy process. Now I'm curious how this all plays out. If you're Kelly Bryant and you lose the starting gig and you say you're going to transfer, then that player gets hurt who took your job. Now what? What do you do? Do you say, screw it, listen, you gave away that job. I'm leaving anyway. I told you I was leaving. Or do you see an opportunity and say, all right, I'll stay. But how does that affect the locker room? Is the culture different? Do the players look at Kelly Bryant and say, dude, you left us. You don't want to be here anymore. Why should we block for you? It's a very interesting situation. And it's a shame because if Kelly Bryant didn't say anything and he just rode this out, here's your opportunity and he wouldn't have looked like the bad guy. And here's a point I also heard on this. He wanted to transfer. And what would that do? That would take someone else's job, correct? That's what happened with Trevor Lawrence. He took your job and then you got upset. When you transfer, you're just taking someone else's job and doing the same thing. I get it. It's all how it works. I understand. I'm just playing devil's advocate. Another game's on the market. LSU goes into Florida. And I think Florida's a faulty team. I do. They're ranked 22 in the country. LSU is ranked 5. I think they're faulty. I don't believe in them. That's all. I just don't believe in them. They're very inconsistent. You don't know what you're going to get week in and week out. It's all over the place. They ride the highs and they really ride the lows sometimes. I think they stink. Honestly, I do. This game coming up here, Kentucky at A&M. I think this is interesting because Kentucky's ranked 13th. I mean, you don't see that out of their football program. This isn't college basketball with Kentucky and Duke both being ranked, which is crazy. But they're going to A&M. And A&M is no joke. I mean, this is Jimbo Fisher. This is a new Texas A&M team. The crowd is one of the best in the country. And you're seeing a ranked Kentucky team. I'm curious to see what they can do. I'm interested to see if they can go into A&M and make a statement and say, we're no joke. We are ranked, and we're legit. This isn't a fluky ranking. We're a good football team, and we can go into an atmosphere like Texas A&M and beat them bad in their home barn. I want to see it happen. I want to see Kentucky get tested to see how legitimate that rank is. And then another big one on the market is Notre Dame going into Virginia Tech, both ranked 6 and 24. Notre Dame going with a new quarterback, Ian Book, after their starter Wimbush and all that occurs. Ian Book has been phenomenal. He's been outstanding. You can't take him out. It's always interesting to me to see how the other players react. How does Wimbush react after Notre Dame gives the nod to someone else? It's a character test. That's without a doubt. So that's what we have on the college football games today. I'm excited. The 12 o'clock one. You normally don't get too crazy of games at 12 o'clock. You normally got to wait till, okay, here's a big one at 3:30. Here's a big one at 7:30, 8:30, of course. And last week, may I add, that Ohio State-Penn State game, wow. I was pulling for Penn State. I really was. It's a shame they couldn't get the job done. James Franklin with an iffy 4th down call for the game. And Penn State had so many opportunities to win this game. Ohio State goes down with a big-time drive, 93 yards when they needed to. Scored the touchdown, took the lead with ease. But McSorley played phenomenal. I think the coaching staff needed to have a better game plan late. Not all around. They were in positions to win games, which is what you put your team into if you're Penn State. But they had a chance late, and I think they blew it. Defensively and offensively. I don't know what happened. But that game that's college football playoff level type game. That's the stuff I love. And I think you might get that today at 12 o'clock with this Oklahoma and Texas game. It's going to have that type of feel. So we're going to take another break. On the other side, we will go Flyers. We will go Sixers. There's some MLB postseason going around too. Maybe we'll throw that in there. So stay tuned, and I will be back after the break.
Hey, this is Mike Trout, and when I'm not home, I log on to SNJToday.com to see what's happening in South Jersey.
Choosing the right rehabilitation provider after an accident, illness, or surgery can make all the difference in how successful you are in reclaiming independence. Health South Rehabilitation Hospital of Vineland offers a higher level of care with advanced technology, specialized professionals, and personalized programs, helping you reach your goals and return to the community. Learn more about the Health South difference at healthsouthvineland.com. That's healthsouthvineland.com. For a higher level of care, choose Health South Rehabilitation Hospital of Vineland.
Come to the Noble Queen Diner on October 8th through the 11th from 3 to 9 p.m. to celebrate their 23 years of service. This is a 4-day celebration you won't want to miss. Order from their regular menu and save 40% off your entire check. So grab the family and head to Noble Queen Diner to celebrate and save. October 8th through the 11th from 3 to 9 p.m. The Noble Queen Diner, 23 years of serving you like royalty.
Hi, I'm Gary Monteroso, and I just love the sound of beer being poured into a glass. If you also enjoy a cold brew, then join Tara Durham and me every week for What's on Tap. We'll bring you tasting reviews, some of the top personalities in the beverage world, and much more. Saturdays at 1 p.m. on 99.9 FM, 1240 AM, and online at snjtoday.com.
Everyone loves clean energy. Here at Orbit Energy and Power, we set the standard of excellence for clean energy and clean water. Whether you're looking to add solar to your home or company, Orbit Energy and Power works directly with you to ensure you're getting the best deal. Visit us online at orbitenergy.us or give us a call at 1-800-836-3987 to receive your free, no-cost, no-obligation solar power site evaluation. Orbit Energy and Power, generating solar energy that makes the world go round.
Welcome back to Sports Talk with Broads. We talked about the Eagles. We talked about some high school football. We were all around today. There's no doubt I'm a little bit nervous heading into the game. There's no doubt about it. But let's talk some Flyers. Let's talk some Sixers. Let's do that. Wayne Simmons gets us going. I mean, we head into Vegas, which is not an easy task to do. We head into Vegas and we win 5-2, and this forward depth looks amazing. What a win by the Flyers, honestly, to start the season off to that extent. Now, we play again tonight against Colorado, which is a huge test, but when you look at this game, Wayne Simmons, outstanding. Brian Elliott, oh my goodness. I don't know if he's going to be able to keep that up all season long, but he was special. He was tremendous. Oscar Lindblom getting in there. We actually are down 1-0. Jonathan Marchessault comes in and electrifies the building when they're raising the banner and they score this big-time goal and the crowd was crazy. And then Oscar Lindblom with some poise. And we get a little bit of help from a defender. It hits off his skate, but we score. And it was tremendous. On top of that, Wayne Simmons. The puck is laying on the goal line, literally laying there. After a defender for the Vegas Golden Knights makes an outstanding play. He taps it in, goes to the blue paint. That's what he does. We have a 2-1 lead after the first period. Then the second comes, and this is where it all happens. Power play. Wayne Simmons, backdoor, 3-1. Robert Haig jumping up in the play. I think he's fantastic. He brings a lot of energy, and he loves to throw the body around. How about jumping up in the rush and scoring a big-time goal on Marc-Andre Fleury, 4-1. Our fourth line, outstanding. Laterra, Scott Lawton, Michael Raffle. They had 3 opportunities, grade A scoring chances. They cashed in on one of them. They were all over the place, and I noticed them. So the Flyers come out big on this West Coast trip to start us off, 5-2 in Vegas. We spoiled the home opener. We spoiled the Western Conference banner raising, and it was phenomenal. And let's go into the Sixers. Markelle Fultz has been hitting some jump shots. Wow, how about that? Embiid looks phenomenal. Embiid with his footwork down low, he is destroying people. I get it, he's not going up against the best talent. Right now they're in China, actually. But Embiid looks really solid. I'm very excited for Markelle Fultz. He didn't have a great game last game, but his last two were effective to the point where you can see him pulling up and taking mid-range jumpers. He hits a three-pointer. It's kind of laughable that we're excited about that, but listen, that's big-time stuff. It's big-time stuff for his confidence. One thing that doesn't make me happy, Ben Simmons. I haven't seen a jump shot out of Ben Simmons yet. Not one. I don't like that. That actually gets me really mad. That's his one job this summer. One job. Get something. A 6-footer. A 7-foot jump shot. I don't care. Oh, a 2-inch jump shot. Give me something. And I'm really upset I didn't see anything yet. Landry Shamet. Can we talk about him? Wow. I mean, we can see great form out of him. He's got a fantastic looking jumper. He had 18 points. He had 3 3-pointers. And that brings us to J.J. Redick. J.J. last morning, I guess. I was going to say last night, but it was yesterday morning because the game was in China, 7:30. My man threw a perfect game, if you will. 10 for 10, 7 of 7 from the 3, 28 points. Hey, by the way, he was sick and couldn't start the game, so he came off the bench. He was sick. You're right, he was sick with that type of performance. Mike Muscala hit a 3 at a block. I like what I see out of the Sixers team. The only concern, like I said, I haven't seen a Ben Simmons jump shot. And then, of course, can Markelle Fultz really be consistent? And let's hit into some MLB postseason real quick on the back end here. Yankees-Red Sox last night. That is the best rivalry in sports. I love Duke UNC college basketball. I like Michigan-Ohio State. Best rivalry in sports. Hands down, Yankees-Red Sox. And we get that in postseason play. Now, game 1 was last night in Boston. Chris Sale on the mound. He had 8 Ks. He was very successful in his outing. Red Sox were up 5-0. J.D. Martinez, after J-Happ had a terrible start, he only went 2 innings, but in the first inning, he allowed a single. He walked. 2 men on. J.D. Martinez crushes one over the Green Monster. 5-0. 5-0 lead after the 3rd inning for the Red Sox. Once Chris Sale got yanked, the Red Sox bullpen allowed the Yankees to come back into this one. Creeping away here and there. The 6th inning. Some runs, bases juiced. They had opportunities to do more damage, but they only crack in a little bit in that 6th. 7th inning, more opportunities. Bases juiced, can't get it done. I mean, they had opportunities left and right, but they couldn't score. They were cracking into the lead. It ended up being 5-3 going into the 9th inning where you had to bring in your closer. Aaron Judge hits a bomb in the 9th. Now it's 5-4. Can the Yankees pull it off? But they couldn't. Red Sox hang on. 5-4. Stanton, 4 strikeouts, and one of his strikeouts were ugly. Ugly. 3 straight pitches, just fooled on every single one of them. Looking around, the Astros win 7-2, hitting a lot of home runs against Cleveland. Altuve, Springer, Bregman. Doing what the Astros do. Hitting the baseball very well. It's like the Dodgers. Their lineup is just so deep. Justin Verlander, I believe, threw 5 heading into the 6th inning. He had himself a no-hitter. But then the bases got loaded. They let him out of the game. The Indians score a couple runs, but right after that, another solo shot for the Astros. They demanded this game big time. So now they are up 1-0 on the series. The Dodgers against Atlanta, it's the Braves are just not to that level, and that's okay. I'm not making fun of the Braves. It's a good experience for the youth. But Kershaw goes through 8. He should have finished the game. 8 shutout innings. He was amazing. They're up 2-0 on the series. The Braves have been shut out both games now. And, they're clearly outmatched. That's not a bad thing necessarily. I mean, it's not a great thing. But I'm just saying you can't look at this as an unsuccessful trip for them if it does end up not going their way. Manny Machado hits a 2-run bomb early to get the Dodgers up on the board. So now they're up 2-0 in that series. And then the Brewers going up against Colorado after they won the wild card game against the Cubs. Brewers are up 2-0 as well. They had a good outing from their pitching, their bullpen. Christian Yelich is on a whole nother level. I'm not a huge Ryan Braun supporter, so that's the only reason why I don't enjoy the Brewers. Other than that, I would love them. But they're up 2-0 in the Rockies. The Rockies are struggling offensively. I did expect a little bit more out of them, I'll be honest with you, but listen, it's not looking solid for them at the moment. So that's where we are. Today, by the way, is a huge UFC day. I'm not big on it. I'm not big on it at all. But we have this big UFC fight. McGregor. Listen, I'm not a huge McGregor fan. I love dominance in sports. I talked about it earlier in the show. I love LeBron, Serena, Sidney Crosby, Brady. They're elite. And McGregor's elite in his respected sport. But I don't like the whole personality he carries. I don't think he's going to lose. I think, it's entertaining. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a big UFC fan, but someone like Conor McGregor, yeah, I'm going to watch. He does that for the sport. I get it. I just don't like the media aspect of it. The weigh-ins, this whole promotion thing. It's part of the sport. I get it. It's boxing. It's part of it. I just don't like the way he carries himself with it. And I hope he gets dropped in the first round. I know it won't happen. I get it. He's good. He's really good. And he backs up his smack talk. It's just funny to me how I normally am all supportive about the greatest in the game. See, I like Floyd Mayweather. Why would I not like Conor McGregor? I used to love him. I'll be honest with you. I used to love him when he was coming up. Now he's at the top, and I don't know. Is it the ego thing? I don't think that's it. I don't know if that's it. Because that's part of the sport. You're promoting the fight. You're making the money. It's how UFC works and how boxing works to get people to watch and to be entertained. It's the storyline before the fight. So I don't think it's the ego, because that doesn't make sense to me. Normally, I like that because you're that good. It's funny. But something about Conor McGregor grinds my gears. Grinds my gears. So I just want to thank everyone for watching this week, or listening, if you will. We covered some great topics. Hopefully the Eagles pull this off. I am nervous. I've mentioned it many times. I am nervous. Hopefully they can pull this off. The Flyers, big-time win. Let's see if they can make it 2 in a row in Colorado tonight at 9 o'clock. Sixers continuing to get some rust off and move into the regular season here as the preseason winds down and they're still in China. And the postseason baseball play and the local side of South Jersey football. It was a good day today. Thank you everyone so much for listening, and we will be back here next week on Saturday.